Hey all, Lothex here bringing you another episode of Boost It or Bust It. If you're new to the series, it's aimed at helping you decide between leveling the old-fashioned way or boosting through WoW tokens. My 7th episode contains a cautionary tale and a strategy you should use to get started on a new server. So I'm going to start this week with the cautionary tale. As you know, patch 8.1.5 came out March 12th and brought with it the Tools of the Trades items. This has caused a tanking of the market for many trade goods. I had invested about 15k in trade goods last week to try and flip them. Weekend prices are normally much lower than those you see throughout the week, so I bought up some Riverbud and Storm Silver. These goods always are big sellers and tend to be lower in supply during the week, so you can sell them at a premium on my server. Over the week, the prices continued to fall and I wasn't able to recover my gold. For now, I'm just sitting on these. Additionally, I had spent 3k to buy Kraken's Eye at 500 gold apiece. If you saw my last video, I had sold one Kraken's Eye for 1100 gold last week, so I was excited to try flipping these. Unfortunately, the market has crashed and it doesn't look like it's rebounding anytime soon. I look at it now as a longer term investment. The prices on these lower pop servers have remained consistent, but medium to high pop servers have really dipped. On my server, they're sitting at about 300 gold right now. Looking back, there was one clear sign that I ignored when I purchased these. There were 6 at about 500 gold apiece, and then a stack of 200. You don't normally sell these in stacks of 200, and so I think that person knew that there was a drop rate change and tried to liquidate their stock. So what should you take away from this? Patch days are important days for buyers and sellers. Being cautious and prepared is important. Do your research, but know that you might not make all the right moves. Alas, this is only 18k, so for now I decided to move on. To make back some of that gold, I ran a ton of old raids this week. This way, I could work on collecting appearances and raw gold at the same time. In a lot of my past videos, I've been talking about raw gold, which can be a great way to get a foothold on a server, but stick around for a simple website I use whenever I'm getting started on a server. It allows me to turn small sums of gold into big wins. Now that I've shared my small error and provided a preview of another gold making strategy, let's see how my boosted tune did this week. Although my week wasn't as successful from a materials perspective, I made forward progress towards my goal of paying for the 4 tokens. I managed to sell 5 pets and a pet schematic this week, proving that pets are a great thing to farm and sell. 3 of the pets I sold are from the Arathi Highlands rares, with the Fuzzy Creepling, Fosling, and Rage Peep each selling for around 1k gold. I also managed to double my money transferring a pet to this server, selling a Red Ridge Tarantula for 1100 gold. The schematic was the Mechanical Squirrel box, which sold for 400 gold. I was only able to sell 2 pieces of transmog this week, with the Celestial Crown selling for a lowly 200 gold, and these Silver Thread Pants, which sold for 3150 gold. To round things out, I did manage to sell some materials before the market crashed. In all, I made 27,360 gold, which puts me up to 190,978 gold. This puts me at a total of 42% towards my goal of paying for the tokens, and that is with having invested in mats to flip. I'm eager to see if prices stabilize over the week. Lastly, I should mention I got lucky with a 5k gold Treasure Island map quest. I'll complete these again before the reset, and I'm hoping to receive another lucrative mission table. Next, let's find out how Alliance Lothex busted it this week. Unfortunately, I didn't have any time to level Lothex this week. With that said, I managed to make a few sales in the AH. I sold an Iron Starlet for 1520 gold. This was flipped from another server at 4 times the price. For transmog, I managed to sell a Raider short sword, which I purchased for 1 gold and sold for 100, and a Deadly Blunderbuss, which I bought for 1 gold and sold for 900. Lastly, I sold a recipe Flask of Distilled Wisdom for 3,400 gold. These types of sales are always interesting to me because the drop version can be obtained for 4 gold by grinding rep with Cenarian Expedition in Outlands. It truly helps to illustrate the point that time is money. I'm finding the sales on this server curious because I am only posting 50 or so items and have been experiencing just as many sales as on the Horde server. Additionally, the selling amounts seem higher on average. This week, I made 6,009 gold, which places me at a total of 23,295 gold. I will have to put in some time next week to catch this guy up on leveling. He remains at level 71. Alright, with the updates out of the way, let's talk about how you can get started on a new server. So for this week, I'm taking a break from the raw gold farms to show you a great way you can get started on another realm. This works particularly well if you're already established on a high pop server, or you have some gold on a server with a terrible economy. Basically, this strategy involves purchasing pets with a low value on your current server and flipping them on another server. As you know, I've been playing for quite some time and I have several servers that I can use to look up and compare prices to the servers I'm currently playing on. On a few occasions in the last few weeks, you would have seen me sell pets server to server, but of course this week I mentioned I doubled my money on the Red Ridge Tarantula, and even better, made 4 times the gold invested on the Iron Starlet pet. In this way, I was both able to make a total of around 1,600 gold, but also managed to have the gold transferred from one server to another. In all, I spent 900 gold and brought in a total of 2,500 gold. Let's look at how I was able to do that. So first you navigate to wowpets.com, and once you're there you click on AH prices and go down to compare realms. Once there, you can choose any 2 realms from this particular listing. For the purposes of the demo, I'm going to choose Aegwynn and Airy Peak, and I'm going to click Compare the 2 realms. Once you're here, you're going to see a listing of all the pets, the prices on Aegwynn, the prices on Airy Peak, the differences, and the global price. With the columns out of the way, you can then click on the difference column and it'll sort things by the most favorable prices between servers. You can see here this Undercity Cockroach is 20 gold and on Airy Peak it's 230 gold. Once you're on this page and you start seeing the differences in prices, you can actually learn some things just by looking at some of the data. As an example, Undercity Cockroach and the Brown Snake are examples of horde-only pets. From this, you can discern that Aegwynn is very likely a Horde server, and Airy Peak is very likely an Alliance server. Next, you can also make out that Airy Peak seems to be a little bit more stable, or at least the economy appears to be better. That could be because it is its own server and Aegwynn is actually shared between 5 different servers. My assumption of Airy Peak is that there's probably a good goblin on that server. You can see many of the prices are close to 1.5 times the regular global price, which would illustrate that somebody is tightly controlling that particular market. Sorry if I've let out your secret and that you're that goblin. Another important distinction is that this particular server is very likely medium ranged, because on a high pop realm you probably have more competition and it would be harder to keep the prices at that 150% markup. One thing I noted is that the Red Ridge Tarantula is 799 on Aegwynn, but is 3,800 on Airy Peak. Overall, if I was choosing what to do on this server, I would take a look at some of the low-level drops, such as, say, a mini Mind Slayer, which is at a good low price, or look for some of these more bigger ticket items like this Bound Stream from the Bastion of Twilight. 1,000 gold, you're looking at 6 times that. I personally love this site and use it all the time. Now, if you enjoyed my video, please take a moment to subscribe and comment below. If anyone sees some results in using this method, please post it in the comments below. Until next week, thanks for tuning in to Boost It or busted.